Guys, welcome back to A Day with Zenler Spooky Edition. So what we have now is very special, okay? So we've got a special guest in, and she said she would come in and do a little presentation for you. So I'm going to let her talk all about it in a second. So she's literally going to burn the house down, right? She's going to set fire to the house like a dragon, okay? She's going to be waxing lyrical, you guys. And this is Lyric. Welcome, Lyric.
We can do this. Oh my gosh. You have me. Okay. You are absolutely ridiculous, and we love it.
You gotta go bananas. This is Halloween, right? So look, Lyric starts. She's gone overboard here. She's really put everything on. She's got the skull. We were talking about it before we came on air. She wanted to drink from the skull, from the cup, but it's a bit of a problem.
It's a bit leaky.
Yeah, so it's really good to see you. What are you going to be doing for us today?
Hey friends, it is so delightful to be here with you, and thank you so much for having me on. I am Lyric Montgomery Kinard. I come to you from the Academy for Virtual Teaching, where I help people create courses, online courses. Specifically, I work mostly with creatives. I'm a textile artist myself. I've taught online since your good dial-up modem days. Did you all just hear the sound in your head? It's been ages, right? And I've seen the technology change, and I mostly work with artists, quilters, crafters who want to build online teaching into their business model. Most of us have traveled. I've traveled all over the world teaching what I love to create and what I love to do, playing with other creatives, but it's not entirely sustainable. You're trading dollars for hours, right? And the way I teach, I bring all the supplies for my students, so I'm traveling with like two 49.9-pound pieces of baggage. Plus, in the States, they don't usually weigh your carry-on, so that one has all the books in it, so it's usually like 70 pounds getting it in the overhead. So teaching online is scalable, it's sustainable, it's a beautiful part of a business model that lets you reach students from around the globe. It is so beautiful to be able to access a worldwide audience through this miraculous technology that we have to, and because of what my colleagues and I do, we're sharing joy and beauty and the love of creativity with people around the world. So it's meaningful, it's good, and it allows us and you all, my friends, as creators, as people who have something to share and to help the world around you with. It allows us to be accessible to people who couldn't reach us. We can reach other people and they can reach us. And what is teaching all about? Right? We're going to talk about a lot of this over the next hour, but teaching is about serving the people that you want to reach. It's not necessarily about being the very best expert in a field. How many of you feel imposter syndrome all the time? Like, let me tell you, there's always going to be somebody who knows more than you, always. And they're probably going to be in the classroom, but that's okay, because what we're doing is we're hiking a path. We are climbing a mountain. And because you, my friends, are teachers, what you're doing is taking a few steps ahead, scouting out the path, figuring out how to get over and around the obstacles, figuring out the easiest, most efficient way to get somewhere. And you're the one willing to turn around and go back and help the people behind you so they don't have to be stopped by obstacles, so they can get up to the top of the mountain in a more efficient and easier, more beautiful way. Doesn't matter if somebody's gone up the path further than you have. What you have is a gift of a heart that wants to turn around and serve the people behind you. That's all you need. That's all you need as a teacher. So we're going to talk about two things today. The first one is about making video, right? Because that's what we're doing. That's what we're here, right? We're online. We are connecting with people through this technology, which has a lens on it, right? We're not in the room with our people all the time. And we need promotional videos. We need to be able to show the people who want to come into our world that we can help them. And in order to do that, you got to make a video here and there, right? Don't we have the thing like right on Zenler on every sales page, the dynamic block is here's the video. You know it's the best way to reach your audience. You know it's the best way for people to actually see you, but often we're kind of like when I say you need to make a promotional video, what do you think? Ah, right? It's like,
It's
oh, do I have
scary.
to?
It's
It
so
is.
scary for people, you know?
It is. And, I got to tell you, nobody I've ever worked with was, oh, I love the way I look and sound on video the first time they say it. And it's just kind of hard. And we don't want to be pushy and we don't want to be salesy. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, if you are pushy and salesy, you're doing it wrong. So let's go through some 3 really easy steps for making a promotional video. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to just go through some quick slides and then I'll pop through and I will talk to you again in a second. Let's get on. So, when you are making a promo video, I want it to be easy and I want it to be fast and I want it to be fun for you. As a reminder, I'm coming to you from the Academy for Virtual Teaching, where I work with my colleagues. I work with artists and quilters and crafters, and we bring the joy of creativity to the world all around us. So all of you, you're the CEO, right? Which means COE, COE, CEO. You're the chief officer of everything. You do all the things. So you don't have time. You don't have time to waste. You also, because we're here as online teachers, we want to serve our community. I'm telling you, if you are a teacher and you actually don't like teaching and you actually don't like the people you work with, that please, please go do something else. But you, my friends, are here because you do love your people, because you want to serve them. And that authenticity needs to shine through. And also, you got to make video. You have to understand the practical reality is that if you don't make video, you are leaving money on the table. So today I'm just going to fly through and give you some tips on using equipment that you already have. That's the easy part. To be authentic with what you do, because not being yourself is going to distance you from the people you can serve. And how to make it easier. How a few simple organizational steps will help this be more efficient. So the first step, if you have a notebook, please get it out. When you want to make a promotional video, whether it's the sales video for your sales page, whether it's videos that you're putting on social media or YouTube, wherever you work, you will work more efficiently and more authentically if you have a plan in place to start with. Okay, so here are the important things. Write this down. In order to be effective, in order to be efficient with your audience, in order to truly reach and serve them, you have to understand them. You have to know who they are, where they are, and most importantly, what is their problem. Now, we're the experts, right? We know how to solve the problem. And I said we don't have to be the expert, but we understand a thing. We know how to do a thing, and we want to share it with people. So we have to understand how what we have to offer will guide them to success. And especially you need to understand, spelling there, what is your call to action? To action. Okay. I actually have this offering in a full 3-day course that's free. That QR code will lead you to the course. Again, it's free. It has a workbook, and video lessons are pre-recorded. I'll bring that back up in a minute. But I want to talk to you about what this plan involves and and why we need to understand this, right? A promotional video is just something that is basically saying, I have a way to help you. Here it is. So in order to reframe it, maybe don't think of it as it means I have to sell something, but I want you to think of it as you have a gift. You have a way to help. And that's why you need to understand your audience. Okay. Anything you do, when you get that, I don't want to push feeling, this is what I want you to remember. It's not about you. It is so not about you. You're the one who's on video. You've got your face. You've got your voice that's speaking. But it's not about you. You are not standing up there on the path saying, I climbed the mountain, I'm the best. No, you are turning around saying, hey, you, let me help you. Which is why you need to understand your problem. What you have to offer your course. What is the core problem it solves? Have that in your head. Understand your audience saying, oh, they're making a mistake that they don't even know they're making, and I can help them prevent that, and it'll be easier for them. Or they have this frustration, something is blocking them, and I can help them succeed. So the journey of your video is them, their problem. They are the hero of the story. They are the ones hiking. They are the ones on a quest. And this is the outcome they want. This is the achievement. This is what will make them happy, better, easier, right? So problem, journey, outcome. The good outcome that avoids the bad outcome that they're experiencing right now. Now, this is all about them. Again, all about them. Guess what? You are not them. You're not the hero of any video you make. You're the guide. You get to be Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they are Rey. They are Luke, right? So the story centers around them, and you only come into it as in, I have this gift I can offer you. I have this technical skill. I have this knowledge that I can gift to you, and it's going to be so much better for you if you let me guide you, if you let me help you go in this direction, if you let me help you achieve the outcome you want. So that's what you have to get across in your video. And my friends, it's not hard when you get yourself out of the picture. It alleviates imposter syndrome. It makes things so much easier when you're not thinking, oh, I have to look this way, and I have to sound this way, and I have to say all the right words, or I have to convince them that, that I'm the best person. No, not at all. Not at all. You show them that you understand them and that you can help them. What you are doing is providing a gift and a service. So every time you get ready to make a video, do whatever it takes to picture the people you love and serve and that you want to help. Maybe even put a picture of your very best friend or your very best student, the one who never judges you, next to your camera, and talk straight to them and tell them how you can help them, how you can make their lives better, easier, and happier. Okay, let's go back for a second to where we were. Okay, so your plan. Okay, in every video, I don't care if it's a 1-minute video or a 10-minute lesson, and every one of these points apply not just to a promotional video, but to every lesson you create. When you're teaching live via Zoom, do you have a segment here that says this is the bottom line of what they need to learn and this is the problem it solves? Okay, so first, every video, I want you to start with either their pain, their frustration, something that helps them see themselves in the picture. Oh yeah, that's me. Or what they want, the achievement. Oh, are you so frustrated with this thing and you don't understand how to overcome this thing? All right, so start with a hook. Start always with them. Start with what they'll get immediately. You only have a few seconds to hook them in, and you're not being disingenuous. You are helping them. And then if it's longer than like a minute or 30 seconds, then you might have time to introduce yourself very, very quickly. It's not about you, remember, but it doesn't hurt to say, I'm Lyric Montgomery Kinard, and I come to you from the Academy for Virtual Teaching, where we help blah, 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 right? And then get right into the thing. Get right into what you are giving them. Get right into the benefit. Here's the solution. Now, somewhere in there, if you can slip it in, put in your call to action right at the beginning or in the middle and also at the end. What do you want them to do? Are you inviting them to join you for something? If it's long form video, this is where you remind them that you have a lead magnet, you have a freebie, you have a little PDF, you have a nugget of something that will help them further along with the information that you're giving them. This on those pop-up forms for your lead magnets, on all the pages, this is where you have a picture of that PDF. And in exchange for that lovely gift that you're giving them, they give you their email. And then, you tag them and you put them in your marketing funnel, and you do have automated email sequences going out, right? Of course you do. Make sure you have them out, friends. Make sure you have automated email welcome sequences. All right. Step 1, that was your formula for what needs to be in the video, what you need to understand, your mindset. Step 2, let's talk just a little bit about equipment, okay? And about workflows. You've got your plan, keep it real, make your customer the hero, offer your gift, your call to action, but let's make it super easy. So when you want to make video, is it a big production? Is it, I have to get out lights, I have to set up a tripod, I have to do all these things? That is a huge barrier to a lot of people, right? So if you have a checklist, if you have a setup plan, and we'll talk about all of these in a second. Let me go back to where we are. So if you have a setup that makes it so whatever it is you're already doing, it's super easy to pop in your phone, click record, and go. That's it. And I use that checklist that we just used. It's in the workshop with the QR code. I'll put that up again later. You can also find that free course at the number 4VT.com, Academy for Virtual Teaching. But I use a checklist to make sure that I'm not stopping in the middle because my phone died, because the battery was done, or whoops, I forgot to clean off the camera lens. You guys do that, right? You take your camera lens and you clean it off. Makes a difference, makes a huge difference. But having a quick checklist to go through so that it's easy. In the Academy, we talk a lot because, frankly, filming for hands-on making lessons for videos needs a little bit different camera angles, different equipment. There's a lot of variables around it. So we talk about very specific situations and what kind of equipment you need. We won't go into that here. What I want you to have and figure out is what piece of equipment will hold your phone that you can leave up all the time that won't be in the way. All right? And make it as simple as possible. Something so if it's on your desk, I have a big work table over there, and I have a camera mount that's just a pole with an arm, but it can telescope in and out, and it has ball joints, so I can angle it high overhead, I can have it down over my shoulder, and it takes 30 seconds to position and set up. That's it. And it stays up all the time because it folds into just a pole that's clamped to the side of the table. It's super easy to set up. So I don't actually have to set it up. I just flick on the lights, I turn this on, and whatever it is I'm already doing, if I have a thought in my head, I turn it on and I talk to my people. Or I'm filming the thing I'm making because I teach people how to make things, right? So a promo video needs to be easy to set up. You know, if you already have big fancy setups, use them. Awesome. If you don't, the very best camera that you have is the one that's with you and gets turned on. And frankly, smartphone lenses are excellent quality. My smartphone lens is better than my DSLR. Of course, the DSLR is 10 years old. It might be. Who knows what they are now? I don't need my DSLR anymore. Okay, so something to hold the camera. The camera is your phone because it's easy. You make it easy because it's set up all the time, not in the way of things, and you can just pop it in whenever you're ready to film. Often, if there's one more piece of equipment people need, it's usually lighting. And I use simple LED light tabs that dim or brighten. You can change the color shift. They have a battery pack. You can plug them in, whatever you need. And mine is actually just clamped onto that pole, so I can turn it on and reposition it any way I need to. And then my studio lights. I've made sure they're daylight bulbs so that I can film anytime, day or night, by just clicking here, clicking there, adjusting my camera. Okay, so make your setup as easy as possible for yourself. Right? Are we good so far?
Yeah, we're good, Lyric. We're good.
Excellent. Are there any questions that you all have for me?
Yeah, we had Amy come in. It's a lot of it is reflecting on what you're saying. So talking about AI, like being authentic is going to become most important quality the more others use AI for everything. And we see that, don't we, quite a lot, even with videos.
Absolutely. And let's talk about that for a minute, because that will also greatly influence this imposter syndrome that's in your head. With AI video, with AI writing, I use AI all the time. I don't let it write for me, and I don't think I'll ever make a video of my face talking to people with it. Because what people are craving right now at this moment in time, and probably going forward, is authentic connections. You as a teacher, your job is to help a person. That's a person-to-person thing. This is something that we are doing as people connecting with each other. And if you're not yourself, if you're not authentic, they're not going to want to learn from you. Information, my friends, is free. You can get information by going to YouTube. You can let AI give you information. But connection and authentic connection is why your students will come to you. And guess what it needs for you to be authentic on video? You got to be real. They have to see reality. They have to understand this isn't AI, this isn't Hollywood produced, this is the real me you're getting, which means it is actually much, much more effective at this moment in time to not be polished, to not be perfect. At this moment in time, and probably going forward, don't edit out all your gaffes. Don't edit out any little thing. Don't fix all the things. Be your real self. I mean, if you've been in any of my classes or anything, or seen any of my videos, I stumble over words all the time, and I leave it in every time because that's just what I do. It's who I am, right?
It's strange though, isn't it? Because like nowadays, it's like where we before kind of AI, everybody was trying to be perfect, and now what's happened is everyone is now showing their flaws because they're showing their characters. So they're not really flaws. They think they're flaws before AI. They were like, I'll try and stop doing that, and now they're trying to bring them back because that makes it authentic. And of course, we know that things like AI are not good at doing these things, these flaws, because they're always on point, you know. And this is why I say don't work tightly to a script. It makes you sound like a robot.
No, no. In fact, I do have, I think it's actually in the promo video workshop, I built a custom GPT tool, right? And it walks you through this whole customer journey. It asks you what their pain point is, what solution they need in order to solve it, and most importantly, how they will feel because of the solution to this problem. So it walks you through all the information it needs, and it's trained in the kind of marketing, authentic connection style. And then it comes up with ideas. It asks you what you're promoting, actually. But it comes up with ideas for you could film this long form and this long form and this long form. And then out from that, maybe these short forms and then maybe these carousels. But it never gives you a script. It is trained, unless you push it really hard, it's trained to give you just bullet points and ideas. And it's trained to tell you, go through this and rewrite it in your own voice. And it uses the input that you actually fed into it as the words that come out, right? But I've told it it cannot ever give you a script to read. It gives you bullet point ideas so that you're just talking, right?
Yeah, you're using it as a tool, right? So
Yeah.
that's what it is. You're using it as a tool, and it's we find people now even on Facebook they're asking AI questions about Zenler rather than just talking to us. And what happens is, you know, they are data sets and they are old and they don't develop as quick as we do on the platform, so they're incorrect. You know, they're
Hmm.
showing old prices, things like this. This is confusing people, but
Yeah,
I
I
got it
saw
from
that
AI.
recently.
I
Yeah.
and they're like, I got it from AI, and it's like, well, why?
Yeah.
AI is not part of Zenler, right? Talk to us.
Right. And well, that's let's go straight into Zenler for a second. Like I said, I teach people to teach online, and I work with across as many platforms as I can learn. I actually use Zenler for my own platform because of this human element. I have not. I have yet to see any of the other online course platforms with humans available as easily and often as the Zenler platform has. I mean, there are really great things about a lot of the other platforms and great things about Zenler, and all the platform. Nobody can do everything perfectly, right? But what Zenler does right, and what Zenler does is have real people that are available to you. Like, do you have a life, David? Do you just live here in Zenler land 24/7? You're like the face of it, right? But there's teams of people here who are willing to answer real life questions that haven't come up before. We had one of those just recently, and David, they solved it. They did it. It wasn't a tech thing that anybody could figure out on their own, but you all had a tech team that went into the HTML, the coding in my site, and fixed the little thing that was driving me crazy. Yep.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes, about your little green block.
Yeah, I had invisible mystery blocks that were hidden in between my other building blocks. Okay, let's go back to video, because the thing we've talked about making it as easy as possible. We have talked about making it as effective as possible. And now let's get into efficiency. Part of that was the video setup, right? Part of that was having the setup so that you can easily just pop in your phone and make a video anytime you think about it. But here is something that will save you hours and hours and hours. You need an efficient workflow that involves making the video, making the easy edits immediately, posting or offloading immediately, and then organizing and naming your files, leveraging your content and organizing it in such a way that you don't have to constantly create new. You build a library of content that you can go back to. This is one of the most important things that I teach, is to build an organized filing system on your computer for your video data. I keep mine in an external hard drive because video sucks up so much space. I have one folder that is for videos, and then there's a whole bunch of folders inside that. Usually the next folder level down is the name of the project or the idea I'm working on. Right? If I'm working on a new course, it has that course. Inside that, I'll have raw videos, and then in process videos, I often have everything I need there. I'll have another folder for all the PDFs I'm working on. I'll have another folder with documents that I'm writing in. Now, you can write all of your courses right in Zenler, right? But I encourage you to keep a Google Drive. You can do this in Google Drive too, but I also keep documents in there that I'm easily able to go in and edit and look at the whole thing together and mess around with it. This is one thing I do use AI for. Every time I am done writing, I feed it into AI and I just say, check for spelling and grammar errors, because I am the world's worst proofreader. And AI does a really good job at finding where I've spelled things incorrectly, or double spaces or periods. It can find all of those things and do that final proof for me. When I download all my videos, I immediately rename them. And here's the thing, people, this is what my hair looks like. I do not have a young brain that remembers everything anymore. So when I name my videos, they often have 10 words in them. Any kind of word that I will use in 6 months to search for that video, I put it in the name. And I'll just copy and paste. Lyric shoe painting class blue scarf 01, and then copy and paste 02, 03, 04, right? So the reason I'm doing this is so that I can go back and find them easily. Okay, why don't I just keep them all on my phone? Because I take a million videos and my phone will fill up and I want room. So here's an order of operation, a workflow that will really help you. And in that promo video course, I believe there's a workflow checklist as well. It's also one of my freebies that comes up. On the Zenler pop-up, if you go to Academy for Virtual Teaching, you can see how I've managed that lead magnet. So, film, immediately delete all the takes that you're not going to do. If you don't immediately delete things, then you have to go back and watch all of the clips to see which one was right? Offload into the right folder, rename as I edit, and I use CapCut on desktop because it's just super fast, super easy. It's a very powerful program. If you use other video editing programs, use them. That's the other thing that I always make sure my people understand. If you have a platform, software, tech, whatever you've got, don't change around thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. Don't waste your time doing that. Use what you're already using, what you already have, until it absolutely doesn't work anymore. It's just, you'll waste so much time thinking about, oh, what if this editing program, what if that is better? All the shiny things, don't. Use what you've got until it doesn't work anymore. So, edits, and I keep it super simple. I've got a thumbnail, I've got an end card. If I've got big blanks in there, I cut those out. I leave in all the words that I get wrong. I keep the editing simple because your students are not there to see how your editing skills are. All they need is what you have to teach. That's what they're there for. So that's what I leave in. That's all they need, right? And then as soon as it's edited, I rename it, put it into the finish file. And then that finish file gets backed up and it gets uploaded into the class, right? So keep everything super organized from the beginning. Let's go through just a couple of really easy filming tips, right? To make that part more efficient for you. All right. You've got everything set up. The first thing you do is take a quick test film. Make sure your sound is right. Video it, and then I want you to look at all the corners of the video that you just did and see if there's anything distracting, you know, that pile of junk off in the corner that's been there for so long that you don't remember it's there anymore. It's easy to shove it out of the way. Make sure the sound is going, and I'm telling you, if you forget to do this, I've been filming for decades, right? Just a few weeks ago, I filmed an entire week's worth of lessons. There were only like 3 or 5 minute lessons, but there were 7 of them. And then I went to edit and the microphone was off. There was no sound on any of them because I didn't do a test video and listen to it.
I've done the same. I've done the same. It's crazy.
It absolutely is. I do this so long that I think I've got it, but the minute I skip a step is when you waste time. It's inefficient, right? So you think it takes too long to look at your list? It takes way longer to have to refilm all 7 videos. Okay, so do a test video. The next thing, David, is this: when you're filming a video ahead of time, all of you, this is what I want you to do. Click record. Look at the camera and freeze. Freeze for a minute and just smile. You can, if you want to, freeze and do a few different poses. I suggest, and that way you can scrub through and take screenshots where you're not going, which is apparently how I talk. Right? I did a video once that was a 40-minute lesson, and I scrubbed through looking for one single video where I was just smiling normally. there wasn't any. What I did was take like almost 100 screenshots of me making ridiculous faces, and now they're my favorite reel of just, this is what I look like when I teach. I think I look normal, but no. So freeze. I want you to breathe in and out and think of how much you love your people. Get that in your head. It will show up in your voice. And then start talking. And if you really mess up, if you really like leave something out, I don't want you to go, ugh. I want you to freeze. Think in your head of what it is you need to say and where you need to start. And then just start at that point. So instead of stopping and starting, it's more efficient to take one longer video where you freeze and you're silent for a moment and then move on. And then when you are ready to edit, you'll look at the sound waves and you can see, you can just go, and I edit from the back because the good takes are at the back, right? So I edit from the back. I know this last take is good. I can see the flat line in the sound waves. I can just cut that off. And because I froze and took a minute between, I don't even have to put any transitions in most of the time. I just cut out the bits, and it's the minimal, most efficient, quickest editing process. That's all you need, right? The other part of the efficient filming workflow is I want you to take still shots. When you, if you're, I teach people who make things, right? We're making art, we're making a quilt, we're making something with our hands. So as you're filming, don't forget to stop and take as many still shots as you can. Flat lays, different angles, close-ups, faraways, as many still shots as you can. And I also set up the camera and take like 500 selfies because it takes that many to get one or two good ones. And then I immediately on my phone go through those 500 selfies. I can look at them and go, not. And I only keep 2 of them, but I delete them immediately. The ones that I'm not going to use, right? And then you follow your organizational workflow. That's when you get in and you make it easier on yourself, right? Okay, I am going in to see if there were other slides that we needed, and there really isn't. Okay. All right, if you have any questions for me, that should, I hope, help you make promotional videos that are easy, fast, and effective, right? Follow a workflow, be organized from the beginning, do those few simple tips, and be so real. Be yourself, be authentic, serve your people, love your people. And the people who are meant to find you, if that is the plan you follow, get out there where they are and present to them the way that you can make their lives better. You can make their lives easier and happier. I mean, I'm telling you, like I said, artists, quilters, crafters, right? You think it's this fluffy little thing, especially when the world is burning and you think there are more important things in life than doing this. But there aren't. What we are doing as teachers is we are helping people. We are giving them joy. My people, we spread creativity. We help other people. They can see something that they made with their hands, and that gives you a sense of accomplishment and joy, and it's generous, and it makes the world beautiful enough to live in. So why wouldn't we offer that gift to other people? It's not, you know, you got to buy my stuff. We're going to make the world a better place together.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% I agree, because you know, it's doing this. That's why I love doing stuff in Zenler, right? And I know so busy as well, Lyric, because this is just one side that we're talking about of your businesses, okay? Because you're an entrepreneur and you cover a lot of things. I know this, right? I'm kind of guilty as well of that, but I spend a lot of time in Zen because of just that reason. It's really nothing to do. I mean, money's really important, but my whole drive is helping people to be successful to, and it's not even about the money, and people say this all the time, but it's true. It's like you spend so much of your life working. Why don't you work in something you love to do? And if you do that, then naturally you're going to be wealthy as a person in themselves, and that money will come to you anyway. And you don't need to, you look at all the successful people, they're not shouting about coming to this, do this, do this. Of course they market themselves, but they're being authentic, they're being genuine, they're building these connections with people, and people are following them, and then they're spreading the word. And if you have that attitude of love and what you're doing, if you don't love it, I loved what you said at the beginning. Like, if you don't love the people that are coming in, if you don't love what you're doing, go off. Don't do this as a job, right?
Right.
You need to be, because it comes across.
It does. So this is so important, and we do this in my other classes, in some of our signature offerings. We start right away with figuring out what your core values are and why you are doing this at all, right? The whole understanding your customer and everything is great, but why did you start doing the thing that you're doing? What does it do for you? What does it open up for you? And your underlying values, the things in your heart that make you go, and they're different for everybody, right? We've got a really fun exercise that's just like word salad that you pick out all the things until they're organized and they mean the underlying reason why, first of all, you do the thing, second of all, why you're sharing it, right? And if that is in alignment with the way you're offering your business, the way you are approaching the people, when you stay in alignment with the underlying reason why you're doing this, that's when the beautiful things happen. And if the minute you start operating your business out of alignment with your values, there's friction and it's not fun anymore. And it just grinds, right? And it sucks your soul dry. You know, and business doesn't have to be that way. You know, not only are we serving our people so that they have success, but it feeds our soul. What's going to happen for us? Not just, you know, you earn an income and you make a living, and you know, that's important, but money's an amplifier for whatever it is underneath that you live by, right? Money is just the thing that makes it more, right? So if you are a loving, kind, generous person, that is what is going to be opened up even more when your business is successful and when you're operating in alignment with your true values.
Yeah, it's perfect. Also, another thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I thought this was really good, is and this is real. This is a real big one for me, Lyric. Right, is organizing things. Right, keeping those folders, keeping those subfolders in there,
Mm-hmm.
labeling stuff, and so that you can find it. And I see so many people. I'm really OCD about this, right, Lyric? Right, really badly, too much, in fact. Because when I see someone's laptop and I see the desktop covered in files, it just sends shivers down my spine.
Well, I am ADD off the chart. So organization is really, really in my head, it's a giant pile. So I have no choice but to be organized outside of my head. It's the only way I can function. And there are times where you would look at my downloads folder at least and go, "Ah!" on every day and Halloween, right?
Short time.
Right? So I usually do work from the downloads folder as I'm processing, but it's all in one folder, it's in one place. And then the minute things are done, they go off into their lovely, organized, well-named storage place, and I back them up. Are you guys backing up? Please tell me you are backing up your files. As soon as my files are finished being backed up, they go, I'm like my raw photos, they're all in Apple Photos and Google Photos. My finished files are all in the Google Drive and Dropbox and on the external hard drive and on the double external hard drive backup. It only takes one time losing all of your files to get this way. And again, like I said, you can create everything, and I fall into this trap too often of creating the new things in the platform itself. I highly recommend creating everything off platform, then uploading it. And that way you can work back and forth with a team that way. And I've had it happen before. It's never going to happen with Zenler, but I've had my courses on other platforms that went down like permanently. They closed out. And there were some things I couldn't download from the platform to replace. But the classes that I had all in this other file, it was just like, oh, that's fine. I can easily put it up over in another place. And same thing if you change your Zenler site from one to another, right? I've actually got 4 different websites on Zenler right now. And sometimes there are things I want to change from one to another. And, you know, with block editing and all that, I know how to copy and paste the HTML. But with the text and the copy and all of the things, since I have a document there with all of it on it, it's just super easy. You know, so this organization system makes you more efficient and gives you, what happens when you're more efficient? You don't waste an hour searching for that one video that you thought that you had made. Oh, I forgot to say this. When you're doing your video workflow, film everything in long form, and then that one long piece of content, you can pull out 3 shorts. And here's a helpful tip, my friends. Save one copy with no captions, no titles, no anything on it, just the video. And never say dates in your video. That video then you can use and put your dates and captions. But because you have the one without dates and captions, 6 months from now, you can use that same video and put different dates and titles on it. The minute you say a date, it's one and done. You are, you know, that's not the most efficient use of your time. But leverage your content. So that one long form video can go 2 different places, have 3 different short forms, put it in your video library. It has all the words so you know you can search for it. And then you can bring it up again. Have you filmed B-roll? Same thing. When you're filming your lesson, film a bunch of B-roll along with the videos and title it and organize it so that next year it's like, oh, I remember I had photos of that thing. Go pull it, and you don't have to create new content. Your efficiency now creates openness and time and ease later on.
Yeah, that efficiency is key. Loads of fantastic tips here. I hope, guys, you're paying attention. Patricia loves it, Lyric. She's very happy with
I
you.
love you too, Patricia.
So really good. But yeah, that efficiency is just key. And the more you do this stuff, the more you think about things and think, do you know what I can do? I can change the way I'm doing something and make it better for something else. So I give an example. If you're shooting a video, right, just use quite a few little sound bites in there, right? So like I said, waxing lyrical, you know, I could cut that bit out, do a thing on Lyric, like doing this cast. I can use that for socials. I can just, because I've clearly cut it, I've defined it, and then I move on to the next sentence.
Hmm.
So if you can put those inside of interviews, podcasts, I've been on Lyrics podcast with her, and she can use bits out of this. So the way that you can steer people, even when you're in interview situations, you can pull a ton of sound bites out to them, especially if you told them before, like, have little sound bites, that way I can use them for the socials.
Hmm.
You pre-plan with someone who's talking about something, and if you do this in that communication, you can pull a lot of things out. I love the way that you were saying, like, do the face before you start. So I do that every time. Like, you look at all my videos now, right? I always start them like that, and then I talk, yeah. And I do this for a reason. It's because an editor was actually my wife was trying to find a front slide for it, and she said, "Like, all of them are like this." She said, "It's impossible to find a picture." So when you said that, I was like, "Yeah, that's classic."
Yep, it happens. It happens to all of us. Some of us can talk and hold our faces still and be calm and look at the camera, and some of us just, I don't know what's up with this.
We lose it.
Yeah, we
We get
absolutely.
too excited, I think. That's the thing I do.
Yeah.
I tend to talk faster. I tend to talk louder when I get excited. Can you slow down a bit? I'm just going to take the mood out of what I'm trying to do here. You're trying to
No,
get into it.
I do recommend people don't try to sound not yourself. If you really are just cringing watching your own videos and seeing yourself, realize that nobody is going to judge you harsher than you yourself, and it's not about you. And maybe look at it and choose one little thing that you can do better next time, because if you're new to making video, your first 100 are going to suck. Everybody's are. You have to be willing to be bad at it in public in order to get good at it, and it's okay. It is absolutely okay. You get out there with a minimum viable product and you improve as you go. It's always going to get better. And if you're waiting for perfection, it's never going to happen, because you are here, your skill level is here, what you want to be is here, right? But the minute you get there, you can see farther. So you never reach the level that your mind wants to be, but that means you're growing. That means you
Yeah.
are getting better. So just get over yourself, because it's not about you. It
Yeah.
really isn't.
And,
It's about the people we love and serve.
and I think the other thing is we, of course, are our own worst critics. So when we look at something, we think, oh, it's so bad, it's so bad, then you put it out there. And I've had this because I've had people do 1 minute testimonials go, well,
Hmm.
I want to redo it. You don't need to touch it. It's absolutely perfect. It's
Nope.
you, and it's this thing is like trying to do it all, like, and then I've had people say, don't use that video, I've sent you a lot, and they're very they're more finished, but they're not them.
They're
There's a
not
big difference.
better. They're not getting their message across better. It's You get wrapped up in your head of well, that's one of the things on the checklist too when you do that test video, make sure that you don't have spinach in your teeth and that your clothes are adjusted correctly. We won't go into some of the test videos where the overhead shot was like, let's readjust the camera. You know, do the test video, but then get over yourself, right? And get your head out of, I have to be good enough, because you don't. You don't have to be good. You have to be generous. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's that perfect note, and we mention it quite a lot. Is it's never going to be 100% perfect, but just get it done.
Never.
Get it done so you can move forwards, because
Mhm.
otherwise you'll be here for the next 3 years trying to work on a video for a promotion that you never launch.
Yeah, that brings up something really interesting that we're doing new in the academy right now. We have just gone through the first beta launch of a new offering. It's the workshop pre-launch lab. So a lot of people spend months or days, some people forever, building your course, right? And then when you open it up, you wonder why nobody signs up. So in this offering, we are flipping the script entirely. We are beginning by talking to our people. Find students, find friends, find anybody who's remotely interested in the thing you're doing and talk to them about it and listen. Listen for what is their pain point, what is their problem, what is their frustration, what do they not understand about this thing. Listen and learn from that, and then we build the marketing messaging around what it is our students need. We don't let them tell us what to teach, but we listen so that we understand how to present what we teach. So in this thing, we create, we do market testing, basically. If you have a product, you don't put it out there without market testing, right? So why do we do that with our courses? So we listen to our students. We create a landing page on Zenler that centers the student's story. We create the email welcome sequence in the course in Zenler that's automated and ready to go. We create the thank you page and videos for those things, all centered around helping the students see themselves in the journey. And here's the kicker. We open registration. We take paying students before we build any of the lessons. We get beta students in who understand that they are here to give us feedback. We usually give them like a half off price in our beta offering of our workshop. And we have lives along with whatever pre-recorded things, and it can be all live if you want it to. But as we build our course, then we've already got paying students in, and there's nothing like having people who have paid you to force you to build the course and get it up there and ready, right? But your students who are in there at the beginning are there to give you feedback as you go along, and you build phenomenally amazing courses. We've been doing it, it's like a step-by-step, kind of like a challenge, and the teachers who are in there building courses, they have people paid and registered for courses, and they haven't built a single lesson, but they understand what their students need and want. And it's so exciting. It is so exciting. And we're doing it in community. We are doing it daily. They have a step and they're posting it together. We've had lives where we get together and, what are you doing with this thing? Who did you interview? What kind of questions did you ask? How did you build it on your webpage, kind of thing? It's been the funnest thing ever. And for some of my people, very terrifying to have people paid before you've built the course because of that perfectionism, right? It's the way I've always operated because I need external motivation to actually meet a deadline. So I have always opened my courses to registration and then built them,
It's very good. It's really nice for us to hear that as well, because that will hopefully get people going with stuff and getting it going. And I think it's really good if you can get that feedback, because after all, it's really hard sometimes, because if you're an expert in what you're doing and you've been doing it a long time, you forget. And it's normal to forget, but you forget the struggles you had.
You get into
You
expert
forget
syndrome.
all of those things. But I sometimes, it's like, I'll give an example, right? Surfing instructors, right? They know what to do. So they go and teach you what they're doing. But then you ask them a question because they don't know, they don't remember when they were younger and learning those troubles that you had. And they can't really, well, you just do it. You just do it. That's what they say. You just do it. You just get, and I'm like, yeah, but can you break it down? Can you break down the motor action?
How to do it?
No, but yeah, you need to know how. So after I learned to surf, I wrote down all of these points that I'd gone through, so I never kind of forget them. So I was like, that's what I did to correct that situation. And although I'm not as good a surfer as these surf guys, right, I know these questions that will help people. So when you were saying, like, you know, the imposter syndrome, that sort of thing, I look at it like, if you know something that other people don't know, then you can teach it, right? At that level. Okay, so yeah, there's always going to be above that level, but remember, you're always increasing as well. And they're increasing, but they're down there, and then you're up there. So you're
Hmm.
always going to be above them, and you can take them along on that journey to learn things. I think it's a good way of thinking about it.
It is.
But I love the way you're getting feedback from people as well, and you're
Yeah.
pre-enrolling them. All good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got another cohort starting, what's a Monday? November 10th, I believe.
Oh, okay. So do you want to talk about thank you so much, Lyric, for going through all of this stuff. I know people are going to love it as well, because this stuff goes onto YouTube as well. I cut some snippets out for the socials. But so what are you doing? Are you going to do something special for our users if they want to join? I know you had a QR code up
Yes, I
earlier.
do. Let me pull it up. Share. Okay, so this is the pre-launch lab that we were just talking about. It's 3 weeks now. We do your plan, your system, and your student. We get it all set up. We don't build a course. I'm not teaching you how to build a course, but I'm teaching you how to get everything ready and paid students in to launch. And here we go. There's a QR code for the course. You can also find it at academyforvirtualteaching.com or the number 4vt.com. And if you use the code ZenlerFriend, all in caps, there's a 15% discount just for you. Now, there will be a lot of creatives in there, but nothing in this offering is specific to that. So this will work for no matter what you are teaching.
Fantastic. So I can see it there, guys.
There you go.
Go get on the phone, snap that. I'll probably put it in the edit anyway on this video.
Yeah, and
I'll
I
put
can
the
give you
page,
just
the
the
coupon.
URL and the code is cool too. So it's right on the
Fabulous.
main page of the website, so you'll find it.
Yeah, and I can already tell that the bats are going a little bit crazy about this. Look at them; they've come in. They've come in to say hello, hello, Lyric. They've come in to see you today. So, and also, I've got something else that's going to come in and see you as well. Our nice little friendly ghost. Look, there you go. So that's just for you, Lyric.
Oh, hug on the ghost.
Thank you so much for this session. It's been brilliant as usual. Thank you so much, Lyric.
It's always a delight and a pleasure to chat with you, David, and with all of our friends on Zenler.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you, Lyric. Brilliant. Right, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the next part of the training for you. So nice to have Lyric in. She's always dynamite. And Lyric, I'm sure will check out the group if you've got questions. You can reach out to her. I've tagged her inside of the comments, so you can reach out to her and ask her more information on what's going on with stuff. You can check that QR code. If you look on the replay on YouTube, it will actually have the page in there, so you can see it as well. All right, so that is our Lyric, and she's always around anyway. She's really busy, and it's so good that she came in today. And I got her on. She came on the live support desk, and Amit was on there as well, and I managed to convince her to come on. So she was like, yeah, okay, I'll come on. And Amit was also coming on as well later today. I haven't got a clue what he's doing. It could be anything. I've said go with a spooky theme, but I don't know what's going on. So what I'm going to do is we've got another 50 minutes. Okay, so I want to do for you, and this is really good actually, because Lyric was talking about how you can optimize and save time doing things, right? So I thought, great, okay, this is great, this will go exactly with what she's doing. We're gonna look at about 14 speed saving techniques that you can do on the Zenler platform, right? So runtime on this is about an hour, 10 minutes. So we've got enough time to do this, I think. So we're going to run it, and it will be overtime, but catch up on this. If you can't catch it now, catch it on the replay, right? But these are real good speed, time saving in platform on Zenler, how you can speed your production up super efficient, right? And that's what Lyric was talking about with the filing and all of these things and how you do videos. So this actually segues perfectly with that. So guys, enjoy this, because it's all about speed saving techniques, right? And you can drop comments in the chat. I'll pick them up live with you, right? So watch this. Got any questions, put it in there and we'll get back to you. So I can see Patricia's in here, Sherry's in here. Good to see you all, guys. Good supporting Lyric as well. So here we go. Speed saving techniques. Enjoy this one. It's fast, it's furious, it's fun, and it's efficient on this spooky day with Zenler. So let's start off now with setup and real estate. So it's really important that you're comfortable at your desk and that you have enough real estate. And when I say real estate, I mean screens. You know, I cannot tell you how important it is to have a second or third or even fourth monitor, because it allows you to do things much quicker, right? So you can be working on your main screen on your site, you can be following along with videos on another screen and pausing those, and you can even have your main site open and hit that major F5 key to refresh the page in incognito mode to see changes happening live. So having these screens is a really good thing. And if we move into something like Zoom, where you're actually zooming maybe to a Facebook group, it's even more important, because you can see the Facebook comments coming in, you can see your Zoom comments coming in, and you can also show a display from one of the other monitors if you're screen sharing, meaning that you haven't got to get confused or have the Zoom share settings over the top of the screen and all of these sort of things. So this is really important to have a nice, clean and comfortable layout, with things like your camera set in position, things like lights in position, and of course your microphone in a really good location so it picks up your voice clearly. So this is a big one to help you speed up and make your life easier, especially if you're learning from videos. Okay, so this is a very simple one, and this just requires you understanding where everything is in the platform. So I suggest you spend 1 to 2 hours looking over your whole site and creating a little document. I'm not going to give you this, and the reason I'm not giving it to you is because I want you to do the work. So I want you to look and see what's happening on every part of your site. So we're in dashboard at the moment, and I want you to look down and I want you to understand what's going on this site. I want you to go in and play around with some of these settings and really understand it. And then when we go into places like the courses, so we're going to do it one at a time. You're going to go into courses and you're going to look and see what you can do. So you can create a little document if you like, and that could be really handy for you. So for instance, I'm in the courses area. So inside the courses area, I can see that I have access to bundles, categories, assignments. So what's assignments? Is that to do with course? Go into that area. No assignments created yet. So this is to do with the course. If you add an assignment, this is the area they'll show up. So this is where you look at the results from the assignments that have been taken. So understanding the platform is key, and it doesn't have to be a big thing. You don't need to go and create everything in all of these little tabs, but you do need to recognize where they are, because if later on you decide, you know what, I want to create a coupon, straight away you can look at a document and go, oh, that's under courses coupon. That's good. So to create a little document, all you need to do is just set up a little WordPad, create a little PDF or something, and you can just add that in there. So you can just start to fill it out as you work your way through. So it doesn't have to be done in one go. So for instance, I have a document here and I would put something like courses in here, Let's make this bigger for you guys so you can see it all. So I put courses in here, and then I would put something like underneath that, I would go and do something like this. So in there I've got all courses. Under that I've got bundles. Under that I've got assignments. Right, and start doing that. Start filling out those areas for different areas. So marketing, funnels, email, broadcast. This way you'll have this document. So when you look at this document, you can go, I need to find out, where do I create assignment? Where do I look at the assignments? And what's the assignments area? Ah, it's in there. So then you'll know exactly where it is. So it's worth you spending a couple of hours just kind of going through, seeing, oh, instructors, having a look in here. This is where your reviews turn up. This is where you approve your reviews. This is where the certifications can be added into the course. This is your video library. So, and this is reports here. And if we go into things like marketing funnels, you can see that you've got leads, all funnels, and you can create your funnels in this area. And look at this. You can see the different conversions that are happening within the platform based on dates. So understanding where everything is so key. Email broadcast, like what can you do in email broadcast? Oh, I've got email lists, I've got all contacts, you know, these things that can be added in there. So again, communities, site is the biggest one. So on the site we've got a lot, and some things are repeated. So in courses we had coupons, but also in site we can create coupons as well. But start to look around these areas, every single area. It won't take you that long to go through. If you're stuck with any of these, like you look at tax and something and you think, oh, I don't understand that, how's that work? Ask the question, right? Ask us, or ask in the community. Under lives, for instance, have a look at lives and have a look at, see the different live types that you've got. You've got the calendar, one-to-one booking, live classes, live webinar, live interactive webinar, and live stream. So have a look at those, understand those. And then we've got over here, what's this do? So click this button. And this takes us to that classic look that we had before we revamped the site. So you can see there's a check button there. So what's reports about? So click reports, see what you can do in the reports areas. So these are key things that you should be doing, looking in. And this will speed your workflow up, because eventually, well, one, you'll have a document that if it's a PDF, you can search that document, but you'll have a PDF where you can quickly overview where everything is without just randomly clicking in tabs. So in the end, you will understand and you will know where they are. You won't need that document, right? But to speed you up, this is a really good thing to do. So under reports, for instance, this is a big area that people really don't look at that much. And you have all your affiliates, you have course progress, video analytics, any quizzes or surveys you set up. These are the results in here. And all of these can generate detailed reports. You can also preview your site here, and notifications that you get coming up from discussions and communities will appear down here as well as assignments. So this is a notification bell. But also look at what happens in your actual profile here. You can see sites that you've created. You can go into your account details, you can go into settings, and of course you can log out. So what's this down here, this little help button? If you click that, where does it take you? Oh, this is the Zenler supports. Oh, maybe this is good. I want to find out about coupons. So let's just type in there coupons, and then it gives you a list of support documents with videos mostly, where all of these things are. So the help and support button down here will take you straight to our support docs, which is really good for you guys. So understand the platform, understand what the partner program is. Click that, see what that is, see how that could help you and what it means, and understand it all. And this will really, really help you. So this is knowing your admin dashboard, right? Also, as a student, understand what they see as when they log in as well. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is bookmarking, right? Bookmarking in browsers is really, really cool, because it means that you can work very efficiently and you know where everything is. Now, we often tell you with our courses or our workshops that we run to bookmark the page, and it's still something that people don't do, and it's definitely worth doing it because it's really important. So if I was to go and put a URL into this area here of my site, So this would be an important site that I would want to visit all the time, or I might want to have my login page. So here's my login page here, and I want to bookmark this so that I can get to it really easily. They're going to see in your browser, and it does vary from browser and browser, but we're talking about Google Chrome here. This is our preferred browser that you guys should use. And if you click bookmark this tab, what you're going to get is you're going to get this little bookmark added come up, and we want to actually label this something better. So you're going to put here your Zenler site, okay? And you can put it into other bookmarks, but you don't need to. You could open this tab up and you could choose another folder. So if we choose another folder, you're going to see that it actually puts it underneath different things, so other bookmarks or the bookmark bar. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to create a new folder here. So I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this, and you're going to see it's going to appear under here. All right, so if you click outside of here and you click, it will go sub under each of those. Okay, now you can delete them out, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to put it under here, new folder, and I'm going to make sure that I name this. So let me just go in and just delete them out. You're going to see right hand clicking, you can delete this out, and under here we can delete this out, or we can edit it, and I'm going to call it my Zenler sites. Okay, something like that. And then we're just going to click enter, and it's appeared. So now I've got that selected, this bookmark will appear under here. So I'm going to call it Zenler admin, and then it's going to appear under there because I've got it selected, remember that, and it's going to take this URL here. So I've called it Zenler admin. So if I click save now, that's going to actually have saved. Now you can't see it on the bookmark bar yet. However, if you go to a new tab, it's now in there. So it means I can quickly jump to this page. So this can be really, really cool. So if you've got videos that you're looking on our tutorial site, for instance, you might want to bookmark it. So if we go in here and we put tutorials.newzenler.com, and inside here we're always using something like the complete guide to Zenler. So I've got this thing up. You could go to the sign in there. If you've got it in there, we can bookmark this. So if I click this little bookmark again, you can put it under here, or we can actually go and add it to a new folder, choose a new folder. So bookmark bar, I'm going to create a new folder under bookmarks. I'm going to call this training. Okay, and this is something that people don't do. And it's gone blue, so that's where it's going to appear. We've got it in there. You can name that if you want to, and you can click save. Now again, once I close this browser down and I go back into it as a new tab, you're going to see training. I can jump straight to the complete guide to Zenler, and under here I can jump straight into my admin. I'm making life so much easier for myself. And you'll notice that on my site, like here, I have a ton of different bookmarks, all going to different things. You know, these are some of the templates that are set up for you guys, and it makes life really easy for me. I've got marketing tools that I use under some of these. I've got AI tools that I use, useful videos that are good for me, Black Friday event, Instagram growth. I've got ebooks, fresh sites that I've set up. So it's really, really handy to have these and be able to jump straight to them. So bookmarking is really good thing to be able to do, because it saves you looking around. You know, you can just go, right, I'm going to jump in there and I'm straight in. Because I'm logged in already, it's jumped me straight into my admin dashboard. I haven't got to do anything, guys. So this is a massively good thing for you to learn about if you're not doing it already. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is planning. So you can see here, this is a simple plan of how a lead comes in and goes into a social and then goes into a funnel, or you shout about it and they go into a funnel, and then finally the automated email is sending them to the course, okay? With a CTA discount page. So a last email 50% discount, again, gets them into the course. So this is a simple planning sheet. And what I wanted to explain here was that you should be planning what happens, so how your courses work. And we should also be testing those processes right the way down the line. So when you've created a course, you can test all this by going into the going into the actual course itself, and you can preview the sales page, the access page, and of course course curriculum as a student. But you're looking at it from the admin's point of view. So whenever you launch a new course, you should straight away go in there and check it. And when you initially do it, if you've got no people that have bought from you before, then you can't be sure that your payment gateway is working. So it's even more important that you're checking that your payment goes through. And you can go to Stripe or PayPal and refund yourself the money, but it's definitely worth you actually going in and paying that price to start with. So this is all about efficiency. Like, if it doesn't work, it's going to cause problems, it's going to mean more work for you later. So once you've tested a course and you know it's working, you should build that into your structure when you create anything, whether it's a marketing funnel, whether you're first testing lives or courses. Now, once you've done those initial tests, you can then you should go in and check these things as a student. So if you've already in there as a test student, great, you can go in and log in under that test student. But if you haven't got a test student yet, one is you should buy it and go through that process. You should have an email that's not associated with your account. So in my case, my account is here, and this is the email I'm using. So I wouldn't use that as a test user, right? I would set up something completely different. So if you want to add yourself as a user just to test, you can do that by going down here to people, students, or leads, and you can add a user in here. So for instance, I can add a user in here. So I've added myself as a user in here. I can set a password, and once I've set my password, I can then add myself here. At the same time, I could add myself to a course straight in here as well. I can add myself to a funnel, one-to-one, live class, interactive webinar, or a live webinar. You could also send a notification email to user to reset the password if you wanted to as well. So once you have this user, you're going to click add, and now this user has been added. You can see here. So now I can actually test myself logging into this site. So when you're testing the site, do make sure that you're doing it in incognito mode, okay? So I'm going to copy the URL, I'm going to click the three little dots here, and I'm going to go to incognito window. And now I've got my URL in here, I can now test that login. So I'm going to go sign in, and I'm going to put my credentials inside here, and I'm now going to log in. So now I'm logged in, I can see, so if you're checking your pages, you're seeing it. So now I'm logged in, you can see I can see this from a student's point of view. I can see what the student sees. So I can go in here and look into my account, and I can see what happens in the account settings. All of these things I have now got access to, and I can see not as admin but as a student themselves. So I can go into things like this, and if I added myself to this course, I could get access to this course. So if we go to here, your purchases, I haven't purchased anything, so let's quickly close this window. And this is why multiple screens are good, because you can have it on another screen. So I'm going to add myself to this course. So I've closed that screen down. I'm going to go into edit myself inside here, and I'm going to go to course, and I'm going to add myself to that course. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go here and here, and I'm going to go, and you can send the enrollment notifications to you as well to check that, and I'm going to click enroll. Now what's going to happen if I open my incognito window up again, I'm going to have this course show up because I've added myself. Let's hit refresh. Now remember that you can use F5 on the keyboard to refresh this screen as well, and you can see my purchase has now come up because I added myself. So now it gives me the ability to go into this course and check that it all works, check that it's all working the way that it should, and all the colors are okay, and you're seeing it as the student would see it, right? So you're going into your purchases there, you're going into VIP if you've got a VIP section, if you set that up, if you saw the membership parts, you'll know about that, and your space in there. You can see how the whole thing's working for you. So this is a really, really vital part of your process, and you should be doing this every time. Even if you create a funnel, a marketing funnel, you should be checking your emails, making sure those mails have gone through, and all of these things. And you can use it as this test student, right? So if you've got yourself as a test student in there, you can keep reusing this. So if I want to unenroll myself from that course, I can edit there, I can go into the course, and you can see inside there, I can click unenroll, okay? And I unenrolled myself, so I haven't bought anything now. But I can add myself to communities, I can add myself to funnels, I can add myself to lives, and I can use this student account to test everything's working. This is crucial for your success, because lots of creators create courses, marketing funnels, they do not test, and then when the student complains because something's not working, it's down to you not testing. This is hugely important. You need to be trying this stuff out. You need to be looking at it from a student's point of view, and you can't just do it as the admin of the site, because you get access to see everything, right? So you need to be doing it as if it's a brand new account, as if you're buying the course, as if you are opting into the funnel, or if you're joining a live. This all should be done for you to get familiar with what's happening from the student's point of view and what they're seeing. This is probably the most important thing that you should do. And although you might think that this is kind of technical, how's this going to speed work up for me? Well, if you start doing this stuff, then it means that you're going to be able to work more efficiently and faster, and you're not going to make those mistakes that you might be making if you did not test it. So it can save you a lot of headaches later. We especially find this with things like email automations, where people haven't set them up properly, and people are not getting the links and these sort of things. They're having to reset it. They don't know what they're doing. It's confusing, and it's all because they haven't tested thoroughly. So make sure that you do this. If you don't do any of the other things that are mentioned, make sure that you do this every single time that you create anything inside Zenler. It's the number one important part of this workshop today. This is the most important, and if you skip it, you will have problems. Okay, mobiles are so important these days for people looking at your website, right? There's a huge number of people that only view your website on their mobile phones, especially when they're looking to join a course. So it's really important that you actually optimize your web page for mobile devices. So we're going to have a look at a couple of ways that you can look in mobile. If you select any of the blocks here, you can actually change this to have mobile view, so you can see how your blocks look. So pay attention to how they look on mobiles. But you can see down here that this all looks good, but if you see things going wrong, say for instance there's too much of a gap here, you might want to make sure that things like your line height are not affecting it. So if I put this in at something like 38, it's a lot better. The gap between that and that is a lot better than this, which is too big. So definitely check your sites on mobile. Now if you want to make sure really that it's going to work, what you should do is you should preview it in mobile view. So I'm going to let this save a second, and then I'm just going to show you that now. So I'm going to come back out of this block, because this is viewing mobile inside the browser, right? So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go back to all devices, and I'm going to preview this inside my browser. So I'm just going to save that and preview this straight inside my browser. Now what you can do if you're using Google Chrome is you can right hand click and go down to inspect. And then if you go down to inspect, what you're going to find, if you drag some of these in, you can drag these in and out, is you can actually go here and you can view it in different mobile devices by, this is Google Chrome. So this is an 14 Pro Max iPhone, but you can change it to different devices. So check this stuff looks good in different devices. So you want to be watching for these sort of things that happen, major announcement where it cuts text. And if it's too big, you want to go in and just take that size down. So if I go here, this is too big for this screen here. It's actually cutting it. And look at the line break as well. The line break's huge. So one thing I would do in this one is I would go down and that's 55 in there. I would take this to maybe 35 or 40 at a push, and I would say in there I want 3 or 4 above that height. So 40, let's put it on 45. Let's click save, and now let's have a look at it. This is a real key thing that you should be paying attention to when you're doing this stuff, guys. So making sure that things look good inside mobile views. Okay, so if we look at it in the iPhone 14, some of these are not, that's going to be perfect, right? So sometimes it gives you really weird sized ones in here as well, but this is a really good way of checking against it. So you just want to check that everything's looking good in there. What you'll find is line breaks are something that people put in the line height itself on text. People forget to add that in here, and I normally say that it's 3 to 4 sizes above the font size. So if you're picking a font size of 19, for instance, then this should be like maybe 23 or 24. If you increase it more than that, then it gives you massive great gaps between the lines. If I put 60 in here, for instance, you see, so line height is another big one that you should really be paying attention to. So having a template page as a playground for you to try new ideas out is a really essential thing. So I've got a template page here where I can just play around with different blocks. I can preview them by clicking the preview button here and see how they look inside of here. And you can use these blocks again if you wish. So template pages are really cool. They are unpublished, so to make sure they're unpublished, you hit the gear icon and you just make sure that's not checked inside there, okay? And then that will not be published and nobody will find it. So let's go in here and have a look at this. So you can just use this as a playground and you can view and edit it as you see fit. And you can use these blocks in other places of your site. So having a template page that you can just play around with, try different ideas out, again, is really good. It's going to be really efficient for you without touching the live site. So guys, make sure you set up a template page or a playground that you can use. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at making your life easier. Okay, so if we look around and we go into courses, I want to explain something to you. All of these course card images are exactly the same ratio. So with course cards, with live cards, so when you go into any of your lives and you set up your lives, you're going to see that those course cards in here, these are all exactly the same size as each other. So under site as well, we're going to see that the blogs inside here, these cards are again exactly the same size, right? So the size that we can use for these cards is 1920 by 1080. So there are exceptions inside the community area, for instance. This is a slightly different size inside here. So, but you've only got to have that template once and you can swap and change it out very quickly. So for instance, inside this area, this is again a different size. So if we have a template set up in something like Canva, then we can reuse that, but we need to keep it organized as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into Canva and we're just going to set up a folder structure so you know where things are. It can get very messy inside Canva when you start creating lots of assets, but if you're working from the same Canva templates, it makes life a lot easier for you. And as you already saw, that all of those areas within the site, you've got the same size to use. So this makes things really, really quick for you to actually go in and make these changes. Because if we look under the marketing funnels, again, these marketing funnels cards are again the same size. Now, if you're using this size into any of your blogs or content, you could pretty much use the same size to drop images in on this as well. But you might have different sizes. Some of you might want to use square images. So if you've got a template of these sizes set up inside Canva, it means that you can recreate stuff really, really quickly. So we're going to jump into Canva and I'm just going to show you how to structure it inside your Canva account. So it makes it very quickly to find where all of your project template files are. Okay, so as you can see, I've got lots and lots of files on here. of different sizes. So to make it really easy for me to find any of my project files or my templates, you want to go into projects here and you want to basically create a brand new project. So if we see this little plus button here, we can create a folder that will contain our new templates. So if we go into new folder, we can call this our site, or we can call it templates. So I'm going to call this Zenler site templates, and I'm going to click continue. Now we're going to have a folder set up here. See the folders here? And at the moment there's nothing in there, but if I've got a set size template such as this one here, I can add these templates to it. So what I'm going to do is I'll set up one from scratch, but I can actually add these. I just want to prove that you can add this to a folder. So if I click the three little buttons here, you can go here, move, and you can select the folder you wish for this to appear into. And you can click move, and then this file will go straight into that folder. So you want to create your templates and you want to save your templates in somewhere where it's very easy for you to grab these things. As you see, I've got an email template here that's got templates that I've created for emails. So you can see here. So let's create one now for our standard size for most of our course cards and assets inside Zenler. So if we go create, I'm going to go down to custom new, and I'm going to create this 1920 by 1080 size, and this is the magic size for most of the designs that you upload into Zenler. Let's click create new. Now it's created this untitled document, so I can now add something to this. Let's go and just put a photo in here like this. Let's put some text, select that text, make it white, and now I have a course card template. So if I want to create a new template, all I need to do is open this template up, simply duplicate the page, maybe go in, swap out the image for something else such as this, change my text color, and obviously edit the content, and I've got a brand new card that I can use. So this makes it super quick. Also a little bit of advice, under the page title, name it as well. So if you've got a particular course, you want to name that course so that when you export it, it will export with this name. So this is a good little tip for you inside here as well, and makes life a bit easier for you. So once you finish with this and we go back to our Canva template, we go back to our Canva homepage here, you're going to see that this design will appear in here. If I refresh my screen, you can see it's in here, a course card template here. So I can take this now and I can add it into the folder. So if I go move and then I find that folder there and I click move, now that's all in my folder. So it means that I can keep building assets in this folder, and if I need to find them really quickly, I can go to projects, I can then click in the folder, this one here, and all of the assets that I've added are in that folder, so I can quickly open it, recreate a new one, and export it out. This is really key. So anything you're doing, any designs you've done, keep them organized, name them well so you know exactly what they are. So I might want to go in here and just actually put this in and call it 1920 by 1080. It's good to put the size in just so you can see the size in there, and then you've done it. So this is a really good way to optimize. Now you know you can export these out, you can go straight into the platform, you can upload them really quickly. The other benefit is because it's all based on one template, you're keeping things consistent with sizes and the general overall style that goes with your brand. Really super important. Right, another quick tip is to actually make sure that you have all your branding colors all set out, and that you have any of the font types that you're using and the sizes and the line heights all written into a document. Now you can do it in something like I've got here in Canva, or of course you can do it inside your site into one of your template playgrounds that you're using, right? So with this, it makes it super simple to add this stuff in later, because you can just go to some of the options and you can find the colors that you're using, and then you can apply those colors into pages. So for instance, if I grab this color code here and I want to put it in for the cookie policy lettering, I can come across and I can simply, now I've copied it, I can simply either select it from the swatches here, or I can actually put it straight into the page itself. So if I put it straight into here and I hit this, then this background color here is going to go that same color. So this is again a very good thing to do, and just to make sure that everything becomes unified across your site, it's really important that you should stick and continually extend your branding pack as you start to develop your site as well. You might decide to change or add a variation of this color into your branding pack, and if you do that, just make sure that you're going in there, you're grabbing that hexadecimal number inside of something like Canva, and that you're applying that back into the brand kit to keep it updated. And of course then you can make sure that this is saved out into your folder that you're using inside of Canva as well, so that you've got all of that together. In our case, we got it in a Zenler site template, and you would make sure that that is actually in that folder by going to move, as we've done before, going to there and then moving it, so that you're building up a pack of assets inside of your Zenler site templates that you can reuse later. Okay, so this is a really good tip for you, actually using the open in new tab. So if you look in Zenler, sometimes Zenler will open pages in new tab, but if we're in something like a marketing funnel and we go into things like the funnel steps, you're going to see that it's just going to go to these funnel steps. Now in your automations, you're probably going to use and copy some of these links and put them into automations. But if you've got a more complicated funnel system, there might be multiple URLs in here, and you want to be picking the right one, and you don't want to be jumping back from one thing to the other. So if you have multiple tabs open, it's going to be easier. So let's have a look at this now. If we go into funnel steps and hit automations, we're going to leave the funnel steps page, which means we haven't got access to any of the links that are in any of the funnel steps, right? So, and it also goes for courses, links that you're putting to courses and these sort of things. So I would have to go, okay, so I'm filling out my automation, and now I need to go back to funnel step, and then I need to copy that link, whatever it may be. Or if I'm in courses, for instance, I would have to do this, and I would have to go to this, and then I would have to go into the pages, and then I might have to take the links from inside here, copy these links. So let's have a look at a quicker way of doing this using the open tab. Okay, so let's go back to where we started, the funnel steps. Let's go into this funnel, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So let's start with the automations. So if we're in our automations and we're ready to go, what you can do is you can just go over the funnel steps, right hand click, and open tab in open link in new tab. This is then going to open this in a new tab, meaning that I can copy my link, go back into here and copy it into my email super effectively without even leaving this area. Now say we want to do that with courses. Again, we can do the same thing. We can go up to right to the courses, and we can right hand click and open link in new tab. Okay, so I've opened this in a new tab. I haven't left this page where I'm going to drop the link into, and I can go into this course. I can grab the URL for this course, or I can go into the pages and grab the URL from the pages. I can then jump back to here, paste it into my automation, and save it and close it. And this is a lot quicker than going in here. Okay, what's my course? Let's go into courses. Let's go into here and then copy it in here. So open tab is a really good thing. So if we go to site pages, for instance, what you're going to happen with site pages is Zenler already takes this into account. So if you go on this page, for instance, the pages tab under site, and we click edit, you're going to see it will automatically open in a new tab. But also think about if you're making multiple the same change edits in multiple pages, open those pages up. So go into the pages where you're going to edit all of those pages and click the edit, and what you're going to see is all the tabs will start opening up. So if I go into here And now I'm loading these pages because I want to make changes to these 3 pages, and I can quickly make those changes in here. I can copy the code and I can make the change in here, and then I can close it off and I'm back. So by default, Zenler opens new tabs for certain sections of the site, but where it doesn't, you might want to go in and use that open link in new tab, because it can save you a lot of time and also mean that you don't have to do aerial somersaults in getting back to where you were to start with. So open links in new tab is a massive saver for you. Okay guys, so what I want to talk about here is not saving blocks but copying blocks. So we're going to use some techniques that we looked at earlier, and we're going to show you how you can quickly copy this into other pages. So generally you could go in here and save this block, and it's a good idea if you're going to reuse this block a lot, but sometimes you want to work at speed. So you've done something into your template page, or even into one of your pages, and you know that you can go here and you can save this block out if you want to, and then you can reuse it. But we're going to look at a quicker way of being able to copy this block into pages. So if you look at all of the blue blocks, they're going to have this little tab. These blue blocks contain this content inside here, such as this contains this content, this contains this content. So if we look at down at the bottom here at this more developed block that's been created, that might take you a while to do, we can use this, and we can use it very quickly by copying the code. So over here on the right hand side, you're going to see that you've got this little pull out tab. Now if we click on the little code element here, this will bring this block up, and by default it will be selected, but if you accidentally click it and it's unselected, you can hold the control and press the A key to copy it. Right, so we're now going to press Control C to copy. We've copied this code. If I press Control X, it will cut it. Control V, I can paste it back in. So I've copied this code. Right, now we can cancel that. Now if you use one of the techniques and we want to drop this into multiple pages, what we could do is we could edit these pages and just drop it in. So I'm going to click the edit button on a page, and I'm going to do this on a few pages, right? So I'm going to click this page to open this page up here. So this is another little template page we've got, and I'm going to go down here into another unpublished page, and I'm going to edit, and I'm going to edit it there. Now you can do this straight into a published page as well. I'm just showing you this, how you can open these tabs out. So you can now, I can see I've to open 2 extra tabs out here, and I'm going to copy that code that we got from here by going here, copying, okay, and then closing. Once I've copied it, I could actually close this page down. Let me just save it and close the page down. And now I've got that code copied. I'm going to copy it into these pages really super quick. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go to block, I'm going to go empty block, I'm going to drag an empty block wherever you want, I'm going to put it at the top, then I'm going to open the little tab out the side and go to the little code block here, and inside here I'm going to delete the content out of this page. Okay, so select all and delete that content out, and I'm going to press Control V, and I'm going to click save. Now quickly I've copied that content into the page. So now you can reformat it how you look, you could change the images over, and it's all good. Now I can save that, and I can go straight into the other page, and I can do exactly the same. I can go empty block, drag it in, come across to here, just paste this back in, Control A, Control V, save, and there we go. And we've now updated 2 pages really quickly with that block code, right? So this is a really helpful speed tip for you. If you've got blocks and content that you want to put in different places, you can easily do that. And remember, you can move these blocks up and down by using the little arrow keys in here, so you can reposition that if you want to as well. If you don't want to go through that because you know you're going to put it in the base, just drop that empty block into the base of the page and just simply copy that code in there. So this is a real speed saving tip as well. Of course, as I already mentioned, you could save it out as a block, and then you could select it from your custom blocks by going down the bottom, custom blocks, and you'll see I've got some blocks already added in here, like common ones like this header banner that I've got. I can click that and drag it in. So if you save it, those blocks will appear in there as well. So this again is a real super quick time saving tip. and it also means that you can update this content quickly. So you can go in and you can change these images, you can change the heading, you can change the text, you can change where it links to as well, the button that it links to, and of course the button color, and do all the other things that you can do in the page builder. But this is a super quick way of copying code block, and that's what we're doing here, rather than saving. Okay, so this is a really big one, and I see this all the time, right? And that is bad positioning inside of blocks. So let's go, there's two things here. There's one is that people select, they do something like this. It'll be really evident when I show this in a second. They'll do something like this inside their site, and suddenly their site looks just a little bit out of size, right? So all of my blocks are normally resized to the right size. So I'm trying to find something that's gonna go really out here, such as that. So this is what I see a lot of people doing. They have all these different sizes, nothing is consistent, and this takes me back to the video that I just showed you about sticking to an actual size. So when I said use that course card template 1920 by 1080s, this is a classic case where people use different sizes for images. They go in at different sizes. You can make this look better by doing things like selecting the row, going to the settings, and then down here you can go vertical alignment top, and that way it will knock everything up, and that looks a bit better. But it will really look so much better if you're using the same aspect ratio of your images, right? So it's really important that you set a size. If I wanted to go square with these size and put square images in, I would make sure I've got a template set up for that. So I'm going to do that quickly for you now. I'm going to set up a square template. Remember our size here is 1920 by 1920. So I want to set up a square template. So I'm going to go to create new in Canva, and I'm going to set this at 1920 by 1920. This will give us square, right? And this will solve a lot of problems for you guys that are having images that are all over the place. So this is 1920 by 1920. I'm going to just use one of my other course cards, because I've opened two up. I've got this one here, and I'm actually going to take this, I'm going to copy it, right? Because this is a little speed tip for you. So I'm going to copy that text in there, and I'm going to go in there. Now I'm going to select the image, I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to jump in back, and I'm pressing Control V, and now I'm going to put this in position here. It's square, so I've got to put it round about there, right hand click, and then I've got to center back, and now I've got this in here, which of course I can make bigger if I want to inside this area, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now, right? So if I want to duplicate, add another page, I can add a page down there, and I could go to my next card down here. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to go back into here, I'm going to press Control V, and then with this image I'm going to drag this to fit correctly into this template, something like that. Okay, I'm going to make a third up, but the main thing here is these images are all now exactly the same as each other, so from an aspect point of view it's going to work really well. Okay, so I'm going to go in here, grab an image that I've got, something like this one in here. Let's take that one for instance, and we've put it in there like that. And now I'm just going to export these three out. So I'm going to go to share, I'm going to go to download, I'm going to go to JPEG, and I'm going to download these files. So now, because these are all exactly the same as each other, I can put these in and they'll be square. Now I could also have exported these out so that they would be more horizontal as well. So it's really up to you how you want to do this. But the main thing is here, we are sticking to the same size, and we're using Canva to put our elements in so that everything works out to be the same size. Now I'm going to swap these over. Okay, so let's go into this one here. Let's go to the settings. Let's go and upload. Choose the first one. I'm going to upload without a crop because that's the size that I want it. I'm going to do the next one in here. I'm going to go in here. Again, I'm going to go upload. And we're going to upload the second one in, like so. And upload without crop because I've set the size. I don't need to crop it. I find that people make this mistake when they start cropping things, right? But if you're setting and you're optimizing your image to a good size, you don't need to do this. So put that in there and upload without crop. And once again, now we have perfectly aligned and perfectly looking images, and this is good for your eyes as well. So when you're doing any of these blocks and these images, make sure that your sizes are consistent. Make sure that your images are not above 1920 in width. I see people uploading massive files of like 3000, 4000 pixel width. That's going to really slow down your site. So you want to be optimizing your images as you go to make sure that your site loads super quick. Okay, something that people forget a lot is cloning a course, or cloning a live, or cloning a marketing funnel. Now, why is this such a time-saving feature? It's because you can clone the whole design of your pages. So in the case of a course, if we clone it, we still need to set up the pricing because it resets, okay? But all of the pages are in the same style. So if we look at this course, for instance, and we clone it and we call it something else completely, let's call it clone in this case, and then we click up to update there, it will change. We can change the URL in here to whatever the course is called and click update. But now what we've got is we can change this course card for something completely different that suits your design. Let's just choose this. It's not the right size, of course, but we can change this across here. Let's use this. Our magic size, 1920, 1080, crop and resize. And now what is great about this is if we're sticking to the same layout in the pages, all we need to do is change the colors and the text and it's done. So in this case, we have this set up, and if we go into the curriculum, we'll even have the curriculum set up maybe in a default method. We just change the names, change the content in here, and it's done. And in the pages themselves, if you're following the same layout as you have for the original course, then it's a simple matter of going and just updating the colors, changing the text, and then you have this done. If we also then jump into the automations, you can see that our automations are still set up inside here. So you can just adjust these and change these, and then it is done. It means that you're starting off with it all in place rather than default template. So the final thing you'll need to do, of course, is to go in and add a pricing plan, which always resets when you clone. But we can do the same thing for a marketing funnel. On a marketing funnel here, if you've got a good design, you can go in and clone that. So if we clone a marketing funnel, then it's going to give us those designs we've already got in place without going through the process of starting from scratch. So inside here, for instance, the funnel details, we can change this to something else. Dealing with stress, I can copy that. I can copy the URL into there to change the URL inside this area, and then I can click update. And now I have a new URL in there. I can now go to the funnel steps, and then I can simply go and edit these funnel steps and add any imagery that I've changed or any text straight into this, and then we have a completely different design in here, done super quick. Then you save that, move on to thank you page, change that out, go into the automations quickly, and then change that out for the correct links to go into the automations, which are set up in here. So you change this text, add the new link to the next step of the funnel, and you're done. And this goes the same with lives. And we have this question asked quite a lot. With lives, if you spent a lot of time setting up all of the pages under your lives in here and you've got it looking perfect, why not then clone it? And then that structure will still be saved. You can go in, edit any text that you need, any imagery, but it's done super quickly. And that also goes for pages. So if you go into the site and you go to any pages and you've got a particular site that you've got an actual page that you like the look of and you think that's the right structure for my about us page, why not just clone it? just clone it in there. You're cloning the page out. You're going to see the copy appear up here. You're going to go into those settings for this. You might call this About Us in here. Copy that, put that inside there, click Update, and then go in and edit that content in there, but it follows the same design as you've already set and you already like. So you could then go in here and you could change cookie policy and you could put About Us. Okay, then you could change all this text in here, save it, add it to your menu, and you've got a new page done super quickly. Cloning inside Zenler is really important, and you can find it in all of the main areas. So marketing funnel, courses, site pages, and even email broadcasts, right? Email broadcast and even automations. So cloning these things can save you a lot of time. For email broadcast, let's talk about that for a second. If I've got an email that I've set up and I've spent maybe 2 hours setting this email up to make it look amazing like this, right? So if I want to reuse this, all I do is I create my master copy of my email, then I save it as draft, and that way it'll always be in here. And if I want to reuse this and change the text, I simply hit clone, and this will then give me a copy of this to send out. So newsletter, and then obviously put the date it's going to go out, and you can then use this. So if I click clone now in here, I've now got this same email, and I can filter it and send it to who I want to, and I can change the text in there. So this can be really super handy. Clone is featured in most of the places inside your Zenler platform, and if you utilize cloning properly, it can save you hours and hours of time. Okay, so I'm saving this one for last. This is CSS code. Now, before you start pulling your hair out, we have actually a course on this, and it's worth you looking at it. So if you go to tutorials.newzenler.com, you're going to find a course under miscellaneous or everything else. Okay. If we click inside here, you're going to find a course that is actually called Ninja Tricks, right? So let me just show you where it is. So this is Advanced Ninja Tricks. So if you're interested in what I'm about to show you, take this course, right? It's going to introduce you a little bit to coding. Right, so it doesn't need to frighten you, but I want you to know the power of Zenler. And I want to explain to you what CSS is. It's called Cascading Style Sheets. And it basically, if you have a page, is full of code, okay? Well, a cascading style sheet is another page that main page will look at as reference to the style. Now, Zenler already has CSS built into its site, so lots of the headings and the colors are all generated through CSS code, okay? But you can override it inside Zenler, and that's what makes it more powerful. So if, for instance, I put in here 2 headings, right? I got 3 H headings. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to change the sizes of these, right? Change the sizes. I'm going to go in and just change these sizes. And remember, I'm only giving you a glance of what you can do here, right? So I have now 3 H1 headings, not that you would ever have more than 1 in a page, and I have different sizes applied to this. Now, you might be doing that in your site. You might have paragraph text or body text like this, and you might have some of your pages have got like 20, other pages have got 16, and it's all over the place. You would have to go through every single page to sort out all that copy to make sure that it's all at 18 point or all at 16 point, right? Because you might have changed it. Same with the heading text, you might have changed that. So sometimes you want to change it, and that's where it doesn't work all the time for you. But if you want to make a global change to every H1 heading, so say in here I wanted to make every H1 heading one set size, 35 pixels, right? So instead of this, I wanted to make it all of these 35, and I want to globally impact the whole site. Say for instance, all of the body text in here, I wanted to be at 18 point, right? And I don't want to go through each individual page and do that. I just want to use code to do that. That's where CSS comes in. Right, so there's a couple of places you can put CSS. You can do it on a page level, and you can put it in here, and you can go down to the page settings here, and you can actually drop your CSS in here, right? Directly in here. Another way you can do it, if you want to affect every single page of your site, is you can do it in site, and then site settings and global includes. And you'll see that I have some stuff set up in here already. I've got loads of different code set up in here, which is scary, but it's actually really easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of all this code, and I'm going to start with it completely fresh. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to cut all that code out. This is probably what you've got in your site. You've got no code in there. And I'm going to show you how we can actually target H1 and body text using CSS. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do in all pages is we're going to put a bracket and we're going to put style. Okay, and then we're going to do 2 enters, and we're going to put bracket backslash and then style. Right, so what you've done here is you've created 2 tags. This one's an open tag, and it's for style. It's for CSS styles. That's why we've used it. This one here is a closing style tag. So it means you've finished applying any styles. That's all it means, right? And all the difference between these two is just a backslash at the beginning. That's all. Right, let's go and target those pages. So to do some simple targeting, I'm going to just save this page and I'm going to open the page up. And I'm just going to show you what we can do. Using Chrome, okay, and other browsers allow you to do this, we're going to target these H1 headings to be 35 pixels. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right hand click and I'm going to go down to inspect. Right, once that opens, I'm going to turn that off so it goes to mobile view here, so it goes to desktop view. I'm going to select this little indicator, select an element in the page to inspect. Click that button. Go over one of these elements and they will go bluey color. These are H1. You can see the information it's giving you down the side. H1 margin top, 10 margin bottom, right? Confusing, I know, but it says H1 at the beginning. If you go down to this one, it says H1 margin top, 10 blah blah blah. Now if we click that, you're going to get that class come up inside of here. So if I go to plus now, you're going to see it selected here. I'm going to go to plus and it's going to put this in there. Now I don't need all this stuff. All I need is the H1 right here. So this is all I'm putting inside here, H1. So if we now apply a style to this, I'm going to go font and I'm going to go size and I'm going to go colon 35 px. Okay, now it's only applied it to this at the moment, but that's because I've got this in here. So if I select, if I get rid of this text, you're going to see what's going to happen in a second. I'm going to get rid of this MG bit at the end and I'm just going to put it down to that. Right, so at the moment you can see that it's just affecting that one. So if I change this, if I put it to 60, it's going to go really big in here. What you're not going to see is it will affect all of it. So I'm going to put this, I'll actually put it massive here. I'll put it on 100. Right, I want to prove a point. So at the moment it's not affecting this one. This one's on H1, this one's on H1. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this, okay? We're going to take this little tag in here when it selects, and we're going to copy it. Copy, okay? I'm going to jump into this part now, and between these tags I'm going to put that in there. But at the end I'm going to get rid of the semicolon and I'm going to put a space exclamation mark, and then I'm going to put the word important, and then I'm going to close it with a colon. Right, So that's one thing I've done. I'm now going to click update. Right. So what I've basically done here, I've said all H1 headings, I want you to make it 100 pixels. Okay. So let's have a look at this page now. I'm going to refresh this page. And look, all of my H1 headings are exactly the same as each other. I've made a global change. Now watch this, anywhere in my site I've got an H1 heading, it's going to be that size. Look at this text here. Remember, we're just changing the size, not the line height, right? Look at it. So if I wanted to change the line height as well, which is not right here, I can take the line height. So I can change the line height in here as well. So let's go and do that. Let's go and add some more CSS. And this is if you're interested in CSS, this is what you want to do, right? So we're going to go in here and we're going to change that line height inside of this. I'm going to put that here. And remember, we want to go, I'm going to bring this down to 35. So I'm reducing the font size to 35. And I'm going to make that line height 4 over. So I'm going to make that 39 pixels line height. I'm going to make sure that I add on the end that important tag there. What we're going to get happen now is it's going to change the font size to 35 and it's going to change the line height to 39 on all H1 tags. Let's click update. Let's have a look at this page now. You're going to see this will all spread out the better size because it's going to be the right size. So if I go back to our page here and we refresh this, it's going to reduce it down to 35. But more importantly, look at our line height. It's perfect now. So inside here, if I change this, let's change this line height to 390, make a massive gap, click update. Let's now check this About Us page. Look at the massive gap now between these lines. So I've globally affected all H1 headings in here. So you can find a size that works for you. And what's great about this is I can tinker with it. So if I think, oh, do you know what? I want it a bit bigger. I'm going to make that 37 pixels. I can come in here now and I can make it slightly bigger inside here. Now the same applies for the body text. So in here, I've got this here. And if you look at this text, you're going to see it says P. See that little P? That's for paragraph text. So I'm going to say, I'm going to apply the same effect in here and you can start to understand how this works. So I'm going to copy this, okay, and I'm going to paste this in here and I'm going to put P because that's the tag that I saw, okay, and I'm going to put this down to, let's make it 16 points, right? Let's make the line height 16, 17, 18, about 18 to 19 points. Let's now click update. Right, now what I've done here is I've made every single paragraph of text, that's standard paragraph text, 16 pixels with a line height of 19. So let's have a look at it now. All of those paragraph tags have now got this text. And if you don't believe me, let me make it really big for you, or actually really small. Let me go in and make this 6 pixels and still keep the line height at 19 and click update. So let's go into this now and click this. And now look at this text. And the line height is still maintained. And this is on every single page because I've put it in this area, global includes. This has knocked on to every single page. If I go to the home page now, every single page has got that stuff in there and this is all set. So you can see all that stuff. So let me go and make a change here. Let me go and put this back to 16. Click update and now it will be perfect. Because if I refresh this, it's now going to take it from that and we're back. And if you think, oh, that line height's a little bit close, absolutely fine. I'm not even touching a page. I'm going to put this on 21 to give it a little bit more space. Now I'm going to click edit in here and you're going to see it's a little bit more of a gap now. So you can actually really fine tune everything. Now I'm just touching on what you can do with CSS, right? So you can do a lot more. I mean, a ton more. You can color things, you can set gradients, you can do a ton of things. So definitely check out the Ninja Tricks course. This is the last one. This is more of a high level advanced training. If you don't know what you're doing or you're messing around or you make a mistake and you mess your site up, all you need to do is take that and delete it out and then save it and you'll be back to where you were before. So you got no problems, right? So that's how we are now. We're back to where we were before. So very good thing for you to know about. Whether you want to use it or not is really up to you. And we do offer no support if you're starting to use CSS code, right? Because it's coding. So we offer no support on this at all. But it's really easy to do, and you can do some amazing things inside of your platform using CSS. And it was worth me telling you about it because it can be a really good way. Imagine you've got 1,000 pages and your font size is 16, 19, 21, 20, and you're going, oh no, I've got to go through 1,000 pages and I've got to change it all to 16 pixels. Imagine this, one little bit of code that takes less than 3 minutes will change all 1,000 pages. Right? That's the power of CSS. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Oh, I've got the dragon back. That wasn't supposed to happen. So I hope you have enjoyed it. So we've had Lyric on today. She's been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for doing that presentation. And then I thought we'd finish off with some speed saving techniques. So these techniques, when used together, can save you huge amounts of time. So this kind of brings us to the end of the second session with A Day with Zenler. So we're going to be back on in about an hour and 40 minutes, okay? And we have a special guest coming in. We have Amit coming in, and before that we're going to show you a few little things. So we're going to talk about DMARC records, custom domains, and of course the brand new gamification feature. So I hope you're enjoying this epic, terrifying Halloween special, the spooky edition of A Day with Zenler, with our spooky ghosts coming into the scene as well. Look, there they are. There's our spooky ghost, and of course our favorite, and I'll say it, bats. So there they are. Get out of here, and they go. They're pretty well trained now, those bats. They're pretty well trained. Okay, so we will see you soon. I'll just end with this, and I'll see you later, guys. So take care, and I'll see you about an hour and 40 minutes where we've got more stuff going on this special Halloween edition of A Day with Zenler.